right, so this question just hit my desk. The question about how to create a zero width riser on a U-shaped stair. So something, for example, let me zoom in here a little bit, where we've got a U-shaped stair like this. We'll just use the stair solver here, and we want this joint in between the two stairs to be 0. Now, if I measure the distance, what I found is if I measure the distance that I want this to be offset back to, which is exactly 5 feet because I've got 0 clearance on my riser there, I can pull this back or try to pull it back 5 feet, and oh, it did work that time. Oftentimes when I try to pull that back the exact distance, it either jumps to like the nearest distance or it doesn't work at all. A few things that I found to make this sort of stair configuration work out of the gate. First of all, uncheck these automatic rules. All that does is limit the design options you can have. As long as you know what you're trying to design to, use these options up here. You especially don't want the automatic landing width for something like this. Set the stair to the exact width that you want to start with, and that should be all you really need to get rolling on this. To get the 0 tread at the landing, that's also a tricky one. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Set this to fixed riser offset, 0 it out before you place the stair. Again, if you try to edit this after you've placed the stair, I found that oftentimes it gets buggy or it doesn't want to work. But now I know that I need a full 8-foot wide landing, 4 foot all the way around. So I'm going to go ahead and say start here. We'll draw it up to somewhere like that. And then on the pet palette, apologies for being off the screen, I'm going to change this to a landing. I'm going to make this 8 feet wide. I'm going to go back to a stair stringer. And notice that I'm drawing this at the outside edge. And this is what it tends to do, where it doesn't want to, it'll try to tell you that it can't do it until you're able to actually snap to it. So you kind of have to mess around with it a little bit. And then place it, use the stair solver to say that it's one of these two, whether you want that reveal or not. The railing is going to be a lot happier if you can create a bit of an extra edge at the inside of that stair if you need a railing to wrap around that. But that is the gist of what I found it takes to make a 0 tread riser. Now if this were stringers on the outside and you wanted that to have a nosing on both sides, you can then go edit and click here, and we'll just say everything on this run selected, and you can give this an extra, say, 1-inch overhang on that side. You can do that all the way down, and then this one as well, you could pull this under 1 inch, and that will give you sort of that overlap that you need on that edge. But all of this is sort of predicated on a few things. First of all, that you set that up to begin with the way it needs to be in the settings, and again, eliminating these automatic restrictions, setting your width the way it needs to be, and setting this to what kind of clearances you want at that landing before you draw it. Trying to adjust this after you've drawn it, it's only worked 1 or 2 times for me. Even going into the pet palette here and saying, well, this should be whatever, 6 inches. Seems like it should work. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. I find it best to just set it to what you want before you place it, even to the point where if I do need it to work and it's not working here or in the pet palette, just start over redrawing this stair from scratch.